What's up, everybody? This review, we'll be taking a look at one of my most anticipated figures. Pretty sure a lot of other people's. We're going to be checking out the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. This thing is, I don't know, I'm just excited to check it out, honestly. He is probably my favorite Ghost Rider because I kind of, I knew Johnny Blaze, but Danny was kind of the one I saw a little bit more growing up. So here he is in this awesome packaging. You got the window, you can see him, you can see his bike. I love that bike. That bike is so iconic and just something that I really love. Here's side. Here is the back where you can see some of his accessories. We got these different flame effects. We got, you're going to be looking at his gauges and everything like that. That shield, man, I can't wait to check this out. You got a little bio here on the side. So that's pretty cool. Artwork on that side. There's the front. Let's get him open and check him out. Here's a quick look at Danny outside of the box, so you can see a little bit more of his accessories, the alternate hands, his handlebars. So really cool. So here's the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider outside of the packaging and with his accessories. And he doesn't come with that many. He's got the different flames. We got this one here that kind of goes under the bike to help him do his iconic wheelie. You have these different flame effects, one for the rear wheel and one for the front. You have his flame chain, which looks really, really nice. It fades from like a yellow to an orange. And it's taking up the light pretty good. So pretty nice. And then he's got a different set of hands. So he's got this open palm hand, which you guys already know this is one of my favorite hand sculpts. You can do so many things with it. He's reaching out, doing the pennant stare. He's waiting for you to hand him something, choking somebody, grabbing something, So many different ways to use this. And then he's also got closed fist with these little spikes on the back of his hand. It's pretty cool. The other hands that he has on him have like trigger fingers, but they're more for like the, like braking or clutching. Using that clutch or the front brake. So pretty cool. And then we'll take a look at this guy. So I'm super pumped to be checking this guy out. Probably my favorite Ghost Rider. Him and Johnny are like, 1 and 2. Just very awesome. I love the style. He was more the Ghost Rider I saw growing up. I didn't know Johnny for a little bit, but eventually he turned into where he had the trench coat and the shotgun, the long hair, when Danny was running around like this. So I love that motorcycle. This is like one of my favorites. We'll get more into that later. But here is the Danny Ghost Rider. And first impressions is, he looks awesome. I love it. I've been waiting for a really good Danny figure. I love the old Toy Biz one. I don't know if I still got that bike around somewhere. The figure is definitely gone. I think over time it just finally wore out and broke. So I had got rid of it. But this guy looks really good. So just looking at him, he's got this really awesome head sculpt. I think it's the same one that they used on the older Ghost Rider. Like the Legendary Rider style. But he's got these crazy swirls in his eyes that pretty wild. Like doing a pennant stare. Pretty crazy to get that paint in there. I wonder how they did that, nailed that. Maybe some kind of like sticker or something they slide in there. But the flames look really nice. The skull is more white than the other Ghost Rider figures that had come out before. But he's got this nice little brown and I guess shading in there. The jaw's articulated. Got the flames in the neck. The jacket looks really nice. You can see the texturing in there. It's nice that it's just not a solid piece. You've got the spikes on the shoulders. You've got these little section off areas, the ridges. Looks really good. You can see some extra ridges in here, you know, showing that it is a jacket. The folds looks really nice. You've got the spikes around the wrist, which is like a molded plastic in the gray, silver. Not too shiny. These are a little bit shinier than the chain that's around his shoulders, which I think this is probably like the weak point on this whole figure. Is this one just doesn't match. Then you got the pants, gray pants, which you can see the texturing in there, so they're just not plain, which is awesome. I love that they're doing that. Another silver spikes. The boots have the texturing. Really nice. It looks really good. So let's check out some articulation. All right, for articulation, his head goes down not too far. It's just a ball peg, so no hinge. It goes, still kind of looks almost neutral, just down just barely. It goes up only about that far, so just a little above neutral. You can tilt the head just a little bit for some personality. I wish it would get a little bit more so you can look at you, you know, crazy, something like that. Left to right, jaw is articulated. You've got T-pose, which is really awesome. That's really, really good range. You got an upper bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows. You've got a wrist peg and horizontal hinge. You have a horizontal hinge on all of the hands. All of the hands are horizontal. You got the ab crunch and a cut for the waist, which these joints feel really good. So ab crunch, he goes forward that far, back about that far. So he goes way back. You get the sculpted detail in there for the abs when you crunch it back. Same thing on the back. Leg goes forward about that much, but he does have a drop down hip. Upper thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees. Upper boot cut, hinge and pivot for the ankle and foot. No butterfly joint. So he's coming forward, his arms will go forward about that far. And other than that, that is it for his articulation, which is not bad at all. Really like this dude. So here, we'll check out some of his, with his accessories. We'll just swap them out real quick. So his hands here are the only open hands that he has, but that will hold his chain. So really cool. And you saw the articulation, it's not bad. I like it. Got him with that. Pretty cool. So he can hold himself up. Really nice. And that is like, you know, soft plastic, so you can bend that, pose it, but it won't stay there. Pretty cool. I like it. And then The only other accessories are the hands. So this is the reaching hands that I was mentioning. Maybe he's, grasping you, or is he, with that finger out a little bit? Maybe he's pointing at you. You about to get judged. Hand him something. Then the other hand is a closed fist. So really cool. That's it for his accessories as far as what they look like on him. All right, so comparison time. I had to break out the other Ghost Riders. I'm pretty sure I have some more in my bins. These were the easier ones to find. I have the Legendary Riders Johnny Blaze one. And then we have the Mezco 112 Ghost Rider. I was really interested in seeing these together just to see the scaling. I was expecting a more drastic difference between these two because of the Legendary Riders one is on that AIM body, the AIM soldier, and I always felt like that one seemed a little, I don't know, tall to me. I always thought this Ghost Rider was really, really big. And he is taller than the new Danny, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Sure, I would like for the Danny to be a little bit taller, but I don't think it's a bad height at all. I can live with it. But yeah, I do think it could have been just a little bit bigger, and it would have been really, really cool. And the Mezco figures scale a little bit larger anyways, so he is definitely taller. Now the Johnny and the Danny share the same head and neck, and I think that is it. No other shared parts. So the head flames are the exact same sculpt. The skulls are the same sculpt. You just had to, the way they're painted, it makes it look like they're completely different new parts, and it's really not. So the flames, have that same sculpt. Their skulls have the same sculpt. Just this one has like a whole tan skull. This one's all white with different brown washing in there. This one has the neck area all see-through, flamed out, versus the new Danny has the spine painted white. And this one is just, see-through. Which either look is would work. If if the Danny was flamed out, I'd be okay with that. So that doesn't bother me. But they all look really, really good. And this one has a little bit lighter flames. So the yellow to red kind of is just a little bit more. The Danny has just a little less. It's a little more orange and red. And then we have the Mezco one with the flames, the plastic, just, I don't know how to describe it. It just has a completely different look to it. Like, that looks crazy. And it has a light up feature. I don't have the batteries in, but just the plastic alone just looks, a little bit more premium, which it should, because you paid some heavy money for that Mezco one for him and the bike. But yeah, they all look really good. This style suit is more Johnny to me. That emblem. Even this one, even the all leather suit says Johnny to me. The gray pants with the leather jacket up top, that's more Danny for me. It always has been. But yeah, width wise, size wise, let's see. The Mezco one is still bigger than all of them. These two, probably about the same. You can just notice the height difference. I think it's just in the legs. This one just had some really long legs. But it could hit like really nice poses on his motorcycle. So he can actually like fit the foot pegs. So that was pretty nice. So now we get to one of the main attractions, and one of the things I couldn't wait to check out is Danny's bike. Danny's bike is really iconic with that shield up front. Super iconic. I love this bike. I've always loved this bike. I love the the style that it had. Just every time I see it, I just think of him doing that wheelie. Just so awesome. Always stood out to me. I think I have the Toy Biz one around here somewhere. I tried looking for it, but I know I didn't get rid of it. I know my Danny figure is broken. I got rid of that, but the bike I know I kept for just because I love it. It looks awesome. But if you remember that bike, it was completely flat on the bottom for the wheels so it could stand. And this one has two really cool features. So it has actual wheels, and it won't really stand or balance, You can have it leaning, which could be cool because we're going to mess with that a little bit later. But you have these awesome flame effects that look really good. They have the hole in there for the tires. This one is larger. This one's a little bit small. They can't interchange because the flames get in the way underneath the bottom of it. And speaking of the bottom, these pegs actually can switch from front to back. So you can have them, if it's more forward, you can have them kind of legs outstretched a little bit more. Kind of more like a Harley position. Versus like a sport bike. But I'm pretty sure Danny had like his bike is a sport bike that he found when he touched that gas cap. This bike is just awesome. So he has those flames, and then he has this other flame that actually pegs in underneath, and it helps him pull off his iconic wheelie, which will probably be how I pose him. I'm pretty sure that's 100% how I'm going to do it. I have two poses in mind. So we'll get rid of this. We'll take a look at the bike. So the bike has this nice yellow going around the inner part. It is clear, which is pretty nice. And you can see the different flame effects in there. Spins really nice. This swing arm and everything is molded in this kind of like marble looking silver plastic. The body is just like a matte black. The foot pegs are just like a gray. Nothing too special. Got the black footrest. The forks, the same silver. Front wheel, the same as the back. You can see the motor in there, which is really cool. You got some nice design on the bike and the side, but nothing else really going on with it, like as far as paint. You've got this seats. They have nice little texturing in there. You can see that. The shield has these nice damages on it. But there's no like silver or gray to help bring it out or anything like that. You're just looking at it. The light catches it. And that's when you can see the details. You got the gas cap. You've got your gauges. I feel like that needle should have been like, if you can see that. You got the gas cap and that needle. I feel like that needle for like, how fast he's going should have been like completely maxed out. That would have been awesome. Or if it would have been like a digital cluster, something like that. You know, put like a ridiculous number in there. So I don't know if y'all can see. Let's see if I can get some light in there. This part right here. So that is where the shield plugs into the front of the shield, because it has a pretty cool feature. So here it is, ride in normal, which is really, really cool. But it actually has a little gap in space, so if you push down on it, that shield can slide down. And it gives the bike, like, to me, a completely different look or feel, like a little bit more sleeker, longer. Like it's really gonna be speeding away. Like the other look, still fast looking, a little more protection. There's nothing here in the eyes. I actually kind of like it cut out like that. I know some people are filling it in, but it doesn't bother me at all. But that's the way it looks. And then again, if you just push down on it, you shift down. To me, it's going a little bit faster. So we'll take a look at his other flame effect. In here is where it rests. And you're gonna wanna peg it in here in the bottom. And bam, you have his wheelie. Like how awesome is that? So here's Danny on his bike, and he looks awesome. I love it. I moved the foot pegs to the front part. I think sitting back here would have been a little more, you know, like a sport bike would be, but I think having it sit forward here looked better for him aesthetically. But there he is from the side. I moved the shield back up. I think that looks so good. Like, I absolutely love this. Just so cool. And then, of course, with the shield down. Kind of leaves him a little more exposed in the chest, but I mean, it's the Ghost Rider. What are you going to do to him? So, very cool. Very cool. So, let's get that other piece in for his iconic look. Again, we're going to peg it in the bottom. And just so awesome. Drop that shield. So very cool. I love this. I kind of wish there was a way to, you know, make this flame effect stay like this. Or maybe it does and I just don't know it. But I don't think so. Would have been pretty cool. just to really, add some more flames to it. I don't know if that looks odd because of how flat it is on the bottom, but yeah, it would have been pretty nice. But still, that looks so good. I love this. I'm gonna have so much fun with this. And then let's see. And if we can hit it in there. Hit that, hit that power slide, that Kira scene, Canada on this bike. I love that bike. Another motorcycle that I love. But yeah, maybe he's skidding, dragging flames. Super awesome. Man, I really like this figure. But let's get some comparisons in for this bike, and I think we're gonna have some fun with that. All right, so here is a fun part. I love motorcycles, and part of the reason why I love Ghost Rider so much. Here we got 3 different types of bikes. You got the 3 different Ghost Riders that I compared together, and you have the Legendary Riders one, the Johnny, with this more chopper style, which looks really good. They used to give us the some different bikes, like the Logan bikes, and they were a little bit shorter. This one is a little bit bigger. You got the flame that's here on the back of the bike. You can see the motor details really nice, molded in this grayish silver. You can see the sprockets and everything like that. The exhaust looks like okay. But the wheels are translucent, which was one thing that I really liked when they started introducing that. He's got a kickstand, so I mean, that's what can hold the bike up. Although he seems to hold up pretty well without it kind of leaning on that exhaust. But I think that's just out of place. He has been in storage, so it got a little beat up there. But it holds up pretty good. Got a mirror, which is just silver, no actual mirror. Gauge. And that's the bike. It kind of sits about, let's see. I'll move this one to the side. I would say, so the new one is longer. Not too bad width-wise. But yeah, that new one is just a tad bit longer. They look almost the same, but the back tire's a little bit further on the new one. It's just kind of blended in with that flame. So really, really different styles. And then let's see. That's from another angle. So it sits a little bit higher too. But I mean, this is, chopper style, so you could have a low seat with your arms up for the handlebars. You gotta be reaching forward a little bit more, which that longer body that he has, that aim body, worked out perfectly for that. So I really love that part of it. It looks really good. Like a natural, like chopper ride pose almost. So we'll set this one to the side a little bit, and we'll bring in this awesome Mezco bike. Now this bike looks so good. Nice paint, clear translucent wheels. It's detailed all over. It's not just like a silver, there's like black dry brushing in there. You've got these wires. Just looks so good. I don't have any batteries in here. I don't like to leave it stored with them. But you have nice detailing all around, silver buttons. You got the nice ridges in the seat that looks comfy. You've got the front, so one of my main reasons for wanting that Ghost Rider was because it has this little shield here, and it made me feel like this. It made me think Danny, which is cool, you know. It wasn't exactly like it, but it just made me feel like it. Here's the other side of the Mezco bike. You can see all these little details in here. The wires. Just so awesome. It also has a kickstand to help hold it up. And the Danny bike will just topple over if you're not using the flame effects. So here, the wheels are lined up, and they are about the same length. The Danny bike is just a little bit longer, but barely. So lengthwise, they're almost the exact same. Now, height-wise, the Danny bike is bigger. But still, this looks really good. And the seat in this one is further back, so you're gonna have kind of like the same seated pose as this bike, where the seat's further back, so you're gonna be hunched over a little bit more to reach the handlebars. So I mean, that looks awesome. And because I love motorcycles so much, I'm gonna break out another one just for the fun of it, just to kind of compare, add something different, let you guys check it out. So I feel like this is like a video game part thing. Here comes a new challenger. But I'll break out the other bike and have a little bit more fun with that, just checking it out, you know, since we got all these bikes out. And I almost forgot, before I forget, this Mezco one also has flame effects for, you know, riding through. I mean, look at those effects. You can definitely tell. This bike ain't cheap. The flames look so good. That material is something else, something different. Compared to, you know, these flames. These flames are not bad at all. They look good. I love it. But you can definitely tell a difference. Pretty crazy. All right, so when it comes to motorcycles, you know, there's a lot of iconic ones. You have, you know, of course, Johnny Blaze on his chopper. You got Danny on his, you know, sport bike with the shield. This next one is another iconic bike, but I thought we'd have some fun. And it's pretty big, so I gotta get these other ones a little out of the way, just to have a little extra fun. We have this iconic Lawmaster. I love this. Getting all kinds of rides. This bad boy is huge. But I figured we'd take a look at them together, you know? So, lengthwise, the Outlaw Master is a little longer. Height-wise, where you sit, they're actually about the same height, seating-wise. But then width-wise, I mean, look at those wheels. That's pretty crazy. This thing is a beast. It's a monster. All kinds of details in there. And then, of course, you have the different effects on there. The batteries, so lights, motors, I believe shooting effects, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, definitely crazy. And, you know, I got a couple of these. I have this one and that blue, the light blue, that goes with like the disco dread. Not sure which one I like more. But thought that would be cool. That'd be fun. Another iconic bike to throw in there, comparison-wise. This guy's huge. So that's gonna be it for this review. You can tell by the video, I love this bike and Danny, this Ghost Rider figure. I guess only complaints I really had was maybe I wish he could be just a tiny bit taller, I guess. It's not really a deal breaker for me. It wasn't that bad, but it would be cool if he was. And then that chain around his chest, I wish it was done a little closer to the ones that are on his wrist. Like that would have been a little bit nicer of a touch. And then I think that was about it. I want to say that's the only real complaints I had, or things I would change. No real complaints. I mean, I can live with the chain around his waist or his chest, and the height difference is not that big of a deal. Just a really fun figure, though. You know, I was definitely looking forward to it. I felt like I might even be a little biased because I always love this look in Ghost Rider. I mean, if you look at my profile picture for, you know, this channel, it's always been Danny doing that wheelie. So pretty cool to actually have it like this, to be able to do that. Comparison wise, I mean, you see the differences in the bikes. I think they've all got their, you know, ups and downs, seating positions. Depends on which Ghost Rider you got. I mean, they all look really, really good. I love them all. So this one is just a very welcomed addition. I couldn't wait for this one when they showed it off. It's one that I've been wanting forever. I just didn't know if they would actually do it or how they would do it. But I'm really loving this figure. I had a lot of fun doing this review. Just kind of checking it out and just going through it with the other Ghost Riders and just checking out the bike. I mean, man, I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting on this one for a while, for a long time. At least it's feel like it's been forever. Like they just never really nailed it for me. But a very awesome one. I love it. That's pretty much how it's going on the shelf for me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. You know, saw the different bikes, a couple different bikes. You know, I didn't break out everything I have. That would be a little too crazy. But you got to see the little extra Lawmaster in there. Hopefully you saw enough of this to kind of make up your mind. I'm pretty sure everybody already knows going into it whether you want him or not. I enjoyed it. But again, hopefully you saw everything you needed to see. And that's going to be it for this review. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Later.